Hi, and welcome to this short induction presentation looking at the Level 3 Public Service course, which is run in our sixth form at SWR. The course is run over 2 years. Why choose this course? Do you have an interest in the public services? Are you interested in UK politics? Have you the desire to join the armed forces, the police, or the fire service? Do you have the skills to be a successful leader? If you think this could be you, then this is the course for you. Obviously, at the moment, the hot topic is the public services, the fantastic work that they're doing to keeping the country going or keeping people safe. And obviously, during the course, there's lots to discuss and lots to delve into that can obviously go into your work and be part of our classroom discussions. Some of the course expectations. So we expect you to be punctual and organised. When I say organised, everyone should be able a folder with them. Each lesson, everyone should have a PLC with them. They should have a notepad and be prepared to work individually and in groups. We expect you to meet deadlines and communicate effectively with staff and peers. So if there is any issues, you need to speak to your teacher. Let them know if you're missing a deadline or you can't get this bit of work in for whatever reason. We just expect you to communicate effectively. Okay, moving into year 12 then, so your first year on the course, you'll study 3 units. And they're a mixture of practical and theory. So we've got government policies in the public services, leadership and teamwork in the public services, and citizenship, diversity and the public services. And like I said to you in previous slide, hot topic right at the moment. So we should be getting lots of discussions out of them units, particularly what's going on in the world right now. So in the first unit, you'll study government policies. You'll look at knowledge and understanding of the UK government policies and the democratic election process. You also demonstrate the process of developing these policies and how these policies impact on the public services. Alongside that, you'll obviously look at another unit, which we're going to look at alongside that is leadership unit. So you look at developing the knowledge of leadership styles, understanding of team and teamwork activities. And these are all based around the public services. Okay, so set scenarios will be done in lessons for you to take part in, working obviously in groups. So we're going to obviously look at developing your skills. You don't have to be the one at the front all the time. However, we expect you to contribute as much as possible and hopefully develop your skills for the future. This unit requires both practical and theory. Okay. Finally, we'll look at moving on to exploring the concept of citizenship and diversity in your final unit in the year. And this looks at the importance of a modern society with particular reference for employees within the public services. This is majority is theory. Okay, and this will run towards the end of year 12, run into the beginning of year 13. Okay, during year 13 then, 3 units are covered. So we obviously look at completion of Unit 3, which is Citizenship, Diversity in the Public Services. Following that, you'll move on to Unit 5, which is Physical Preparation, Health and Lifestyle for the Public Services. So this is looking at the level of physical preparation necessary to join and remain employed in the public services. So for example, we'll look at what kind of fitness level you would require to join the army. So this would require us to do some practical. Okay. We're also examining the major systems of the human body and gain an understanding of how the systems respond to exercise and training. And like it says there, practical elements are assessed. So we get to use the fitness suite. Okay, and obviously this is looking for prior knowledge. Some of you have done this previous course on sport or in biology and science. This is just looking at extending your knowledge a little bit more. Okay, and then your final unit is Unit 12, Crime and its Effects on Society. So you develop an understanding of crime and disorder legislation, as well as the effects crime has on a victim and on society as a whole. So you'll develop an understanding of approaches to crime reduction, and then look at ways to address antisocial behaviour. And this, along with the other units, is all put together in an assignment. So you obviously go out and research different ways to address this behaviour and put it into your work. Right, moving on to progression. So there are a range of opportunities for you all for careers within the public services. So some of you decide to go into the forces, so the army, the RAF or the navy. Some of you would decide maybe that the police or the fire service is the angle to go at. Others maybe NHS or security and border control. So many students consider direct entry into other employment or onto university. Many courses such as police studies, law, sociology, criminology and psychology on offer at universities such as Brunel, Manchester, Reading, Southampton. Past students have gone into the forces, which is nice to see. Others have gone on to university to continue their studies. Okay, so I'm going to move on to look at an example of a task that we would do within the leadership and teamwork unit. So for the purpose of the presentation, you maybe want to pause it for 5 minutes once I've gone through the question, just to try and answer it, and then I'll go through some of the answers I'm looking for. Okay, so what I'd like to do is discuss and write down any people you thought were / are good leaders. You should explain why. So you've got 5 minutes, and at this point you need to pause the presentation. Okay, so some of the answers I was looking for is you may have picked a leader of a country, a leader of a top sports team, maybe somebody you work with, so your manager or a supervisor. And answers I would be looking for are things like this person would lead by example. They would be confident. They would show compassion and empathy. They would have excellent communication skills. And above all, they would be successful. So well done to those who had a go at it. Like I said, this is an example that you would do within class. Okay, moving on, I've put together a task that would be completed within the leadership unit. So it's a scenario-based task, and this would be video recorded in groups. So it's a river crossing casualty evacuation, and this would be obviously based along using the facilities at SWR. So you need to get your team from one side of the river to the other for a helicopter pickup. You have 2 blind casualties and 1 who's in a critical condition, so they cannot walk or talk. So you've got 10 minutes from the start of the activity. So this is representing the time before the helicopter must leave the safe side. There is a threat on your side of attack from enemy insurgents. So the equipment you would be given is 2 wooden benches, 1 mat, 1 rifle per team member, and the rules are you cannot touch the sports hall floor. So within your group, you would then decide who does what. So who becomes in charge of the equipment, who is in charge of leading from the front, who are the casualties, etc. So things to think about: communication. As a group, make a plan. Think about the method. What would be the best way to do it? Delegate within the group. Obviously, we're looking at problem solving. What's the best way to do it? Okay, what happens if we come into some difficulty? Think about a contingency plan. What if we lose a casualty? What do we do? Motivation. Make sure we're all singing from the same sheet. Get across. How do we do that? So the final thing I would like to discuss is the transition work that's available to you all on the SWR website. So I've attached a link on the slide, and if you go to the sixth form tab, scroll down to find year 11/12 transition work, and then scroll down to find public services work. This gives you an opportunity and an insight, I guess, to what kind of work we would be doing within the course, and it also shows to us your commitment to the course and helps aid transition. If you have any other questions or if you require any further information, please do get in touch via the email that's on the slide. And I'd also like to point you towards a Q&A session that we're putting on at the beginning of July. So more information will follow on this. And again, if you have any questions about course requirements, anything to do with public services, then please get in touch. It'd be great to hear from you. So thanks for listening, and have a good week.